Here's my 27-year-old ground fault circuit interruption outlet. It has died. It's in my Pleasureway Dodge camper van, and I am about to replace it with this one. First step is going outside and turning off all the power. Well, actually, I already turned the breaker off, but you can't be too careful with electricity, so I'm going to go out and shut the whole breaker off. Okay, here we are at the campground electrical post, and I'm gonna get inside here and turn off all the power. Now we'll go back inside the RV. Now if I had a multimeter, I could test this and make sure the power's off, but I know it's off because it's off in the whole RV. So the next step is to just unscrew these screws and have a look. Well, I pulled it out, the outlet, and you can see I had a problem with ants, and it's just covered with crap. One of the things that I learned from a YouTube video, what's his name? I have to go look it up. Okay, the YouTube video that I saw was the Handyman Journey, and I watched several videos, but he's the only one that mentioned that on these older versions of these receptacles, that the line and the load were reversed. Used to be one was here, now it's the other name that's here. So that was a really good heads up. However, this receptacle is 27 years old, and the load is on this side, the long side, and the line is on this long side. Whereas on these, it's on the short side. See, that's the load, and this one is the line. So it's completely configured differently, and if I hadn't seen that video, I would not know what in the world was going on. So heads up, that was a good bit of information. Next step. Okay, I've got the ground in, green for ground. Now I'm going to do the black hot. Now I've got the white going to the silver on the line in. I'm going to just tighten it up now. Now this side says load, so we're going to redo those wires and put it on the new outlet on the load side. And the load side on the new one, let's see here. See, it's got that yellow tape on it, which was saying to you, don't use that for the line side because that's not right. Do the line side first here, and then do the load side. Okay, let's do it. Okay, all the wires are attached. The two whites on the same side, the two black on the same side. Line in, line out, ground. And I retightened all the screws to hold the wires in place. So, time to put it back together. Now it's time to line up these screws that hold it in place. Can you see it there? The screw there. Ah, right there. Screw them down. And now we screw on the faceplate. Trying to do this one-handed here. I don't know if that's lined up with the little hole in back. Yep, it's getting tight. Everything needs to be tight. Now when you were doing those longer screws to put this section back in, do a little bit of screw on this side, a little bit on this side, so you're working that box in. You don't want to do all the way screw on one side and then you got too much over here. Okay, well that looks a lot prettier. Got all of those little screws where they belong. Now it's time to go out and turn the power back on at the pedestal. Well, I've taken everything apart again because it wasn't working and I couldn't reset it. It wouldn't let me. I'd push the button and it just wouldn't work. So what I did is I went online to YouTube, did some more research, and I learned that, excuse the finger, I learned that I'm not going to touch it. Well, you know what? I'm going to touch it with this. This is one of the tools that I bought. The power is off outside at the pedestal. But you see this white line and this white line? Well, when I was taking everything apart, I took both of them apart at the same time, which I shouldn't have done. Because when I put them back on, I reversed them. And there's a load and a line, and the line marker is for the hot stuff, the power coming in. The load is for sending it out to things downstream from it. And so I took these wires apart, flipped them, made sure that deep in the box, the black and white were close to each other and the black and white were close to each other for the line in, line out, load out. And sure enough, I had them reversed, which apparently is a relatively common problem. A more common problem is the white and the black would be to the top or the bottom of this, because they used to make them all with line on the top and load on the bottom, and now some manufacturers flipped it, so if you don't read the markers on the back, you could make a mistake. Well, I already knew that. That wasn't my issue. My issue was I flipped those two white wires. So I went out and turned the power off at the pedestal so I could work things over. Then I turned it back on, turned it on at the breaker, and pushed the reset button. And sure enough, it reset. Yay! Happy day, happy day. Now I can have hot water, I can take a shower, I can bathe the dogs. Oh, they're not gonna like that. Not gonna like that. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of this tape, electrical tape, and I'm going to tape around, all the way around, to cover up these screws. And I'm also going to tape the wires where the wire is showing. I could have theoretically cut it, but I don't want to make these wires any shorter than they already are, because they're short enough. Short enough. So yay! All it took was one day making a mistake, couple days of research, another day working up my courage to tackle the task again. And now I'm just going to tape it up, put it back together, turn the power on, turn the breaker on, and turn the hot water on. Hope this helps. Okay, I just wanted to show you the tape that I put around the exposed copper. Now I'm going to cover the screws. Okay, now I've got the tape and I'm going to cover the screws all the way around the box. Need 2 hands for that. Be right back. Okay, you can see I've got the tape all the way around the box, covering all 4 screws. And the reason for doing that is so there's no accidental contact once you shove all those wires back in that box. Yippee skippy, let's do it. Okay, it's all wired up. The wires are back in the box. The breaker outside is turned on, so we have power. The breaker inside is turned on, so we have power. Let's try the test. Well, I don't hear anything. What the heck? I'm gonna plug my cooler in. And it turned on. Pretty hard to see. But the next thing I'm gonna do to test my downstream is turn the hot water heater on. And it lights up. Didn't light up before. Come on. There you go. It's burning. Yay! So that being the case, the furnace will surely work again. I think there's a 2-minute delay. Well, poop-de-doo. Still hasn't come on. Could be it's just too hot in here and it won't come on. Maybe I have to wait till it's colder. Anyway, these are the 2 things that didn't work before, and now they do. Yay! I'm so happy. I did it! I did it! Bye-bye. One last thing that I forgot to show you is testing your outlet. So you push the test button, red light comes on, power goes off, you hit the reset, and the power comes back on. That's how you operate your ground fault circuit interrupter. Okay, what I discovered was this cover had gotten jiggled and loose. Come on. See? And it wasn't making good contact with the rest of the unit. So then when I tried to turn it on, it wasn't listening to me. Okay, so I've snapped it back on. And it's interesting because I learned something in this process. Inside here, you can set how long an interval you want. See, there it goes. Started right up. That's my other downstream item that wouldn't work because of the ground fault. Okay, I'm going to turn it off now. Save my propane. Yay! I have a furnace. I have hot water. And I have electricity in the kitchen. I'm going to show you a tool I bought. I bought this circuit analyzer, and it's for ground fault testing. And when I originally wired this up, none of the lights were coming on when I plugged it in, which indicated I had an open hot, which is not a good thing. So I did the rewire, and now turn it this way. You can see there's two lights lit up. It's really hard to push this in. Two lights are lit up, and that means all is well. And then you can test your ground fault circuit by hitting that button, and it snaps off. Just like it's supposed to. I can reset with my weak fingers. There we go. It's reset. Then I can test the other circuit. And I accidentally turned it off. I'll use this to reset it. I'm not going to push it in all the way. You can see the two lights are lit. These new circuits, they've got that thing in there that kids can't put a penny in there or a knife or something. But it makes it hard for us old folks. You can hear that beep. That was my cooler coming back on, plugging it in to a good circuit. Yay! The other tool I bought was a voltage detector, pen sort of thing. Here it is. Turn it on. And when you put this tip near a live wire, it beeps and it lights up. And you can also use it to see which is the hot part of your circuit. Which one of the blades. The top one was hot. Push it in the bottom. That's your neutral. Pretty cool, huh? I wanted to know which was the hot wire before I started doing my second attempt. I'm happy with these tools. Hope this helps. See you next time. Bye-bye. One last thing that I forgot to show you is testing your outlet. So you push the test button, red light comes on, power goes off, you hit the reset, and the power comes back on. That's how you operate your ground fault circuit interrupter.